Today we're talking about transmaxxing, which is...
I want to throw up.
The term comes from gamer culture, online, incel, gamer culture. Usually it's like you're min-maxing, which is like you minimize a bunch of your traits and maximize one of them. And you just get like, you go all in on like one thing. So transmaxing is just going all in on being trans, except that it's not being trans because these people are not trans.
Yeah, the trans community is not associated with this group.
Not at all.
Most people in general, unless you're an incel on fucking 4chan or whatever, like, did not know about this until after the Charlie Kirk incident happened.
Transmaxing starts at the idea that women are basically living life on easy mode. They start as incels.
Yes.
They start as misogynists, and they literally transition because there is this 73-page manifesto that gives them explicit instructions on how to transmax so that you can get laid. Because if you are perceived as a woman, if you're able to successfully pass as a woman, you are allowed into women's spaces, and you can go stealth, and you can surround yourself with women, and they will trust you more, and then you can sleep with them. That's the mission, is just sleep with as many women as possible, bank up as much sperm as you can, procreate as much as you can, because if you stayed a man, you would never get to do that. This is the only way to keep your bloodline alive. Everything that these guys are doing is the shit that trans women are accused of doing.
Because this is the group of people that are actually grooming kids.
Yes.
Trans people are not trying to convince kids to transition.
No, I would never try to convince...
more representation so kids that do have gender dysphoria can get the help they need. The irony, too, is if these guys go on hormones and actually do the transitioning thing, they're going to end up wanting to kill because going on the wrong hormones for your body will make you
gender dysphoria.
It gives you gender dysphoria.
Which makes you feel
Yeah.
There's like actual trans people who are on these pages. They're like the red pill trans people. But they are in these chats being like, hey, don't do this.
Yeah.
Like even the red pill trans people
even
are
the
like...
conservative trans people are like...
Even the conservative trans people are like, hey, if you're not trans, you shouldn't transition.
No.
It's bad for you. This is literally a group of people, a community of online men who identify as incels, and they have taken it to be a part of their identity that they cannot get laid. A core part of their worldview is that men have it worse. These are people who have decided that, yes, things used to be worse for women, but then feminism happened, and now the tables have completely flipped on their head. And women have it better, and men have it worse, and we live in a matriarchy, and women run the world, and they run it by being hot and by sleeping through like a bunch of men and getting whatever they want.
If that was the case, we'd all be in positions of power right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like literally all it takes is to actually look at the evidence to see that this isn't true. But they have come to the conclusion that is the complete opposite of what is actually true. They have this fundamental belief that like the only true currency is whether or not you're attractive.
That's because that's how they view women, so they think we look at them from the same lens.
It is projection.
And it's funny because they're like the far right. I didn't even know there was something further right than Charlie Kirk, which is crazy.
And these people hate MAGA.
Yeah, they're so far right they hate MAGA. It's not fascist enough for them.
They mostly hate MAGA because they think that most of the followers are stupid.
Which, I mean...
Yeah, because they're not super opposed to like the MAGA ideology. They're opposed to the MAGA cult. They're opposed to like associating with people that they see as beneath them. And they see the followers of Trump as just like gullible, stupid morons.
Yeah.
The funniest thing about it, and honestly, it does bring me a little bit of joy, that these people, part of the reason that they hate MAGA so much is because they've realized that now that they've gone all in on transitioning, they are trans people. They're not trans people, but they are in the eyes of the government.
Yeah.
In the eyes of the people who are going to hunt down the trans people.
Yeah. In the eyes of everyone perceiving them.
And they're like, oh fuck, we started the hate against ourselves,
Yeah, which is crazy.
which is a fucking hilarious irony to me. There's a lot of people, it's a very clear path where they start doing this. They go through a phase where their lives start to get better because suddenly they're less horny than they were before because estrogen
kills your sex
does
drive.
not make you as horny as testosterone does. And they're like, oh, wow, I actually have like time because all I was doing with all of my time was either gaming or gooning,
Yeah.
right? Like literally. And now it's like, oh, well, now when I'm not gaming, I can think of other things to do. And they go out and then they are, because they're also putting on a persona, but they go out and they are accepted and people welcome them. And then they hit a peak point where they get used to it and they get comfortable. And at that point, the dysphoria sets in.
Yeah. And now I feel uncomfortable
And
in
now
my
I
body.
have new problems
Yeah.
that I don't know what to do with. If you go on like the Transmaxxing Reddit, when I looked at it, the recent 20 posts, maybe 70% of those posts were people being like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What did I, oh God, why
Yeah.
have I done this?
What have I done?
They've been sold a lie that they have no other choice.
Yeah.
Like if you want to be happy, if you want to get rid of your lonely male syndrome, this is the only option for you. And they get into this to like beat the woke mob at their own game. A lot of them go out of their way to pretend that they are actual trans people and spread transphobic hate. They make trans people look bad. Some of them have gotten very popular. The online machine, the Nick Fuenteses of the world,
Yeah.
and this whole Elon Musk, this whole conspiracy of all these tech people elevates their content. If they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to transmax and I'm going to like make trans people look stupid, the billionaires are going to be like, great, we will push your shit out.
Yeah. And now they think that you're just a trans person when you're not a trans person at all.
Yeah, the shit J.K. Rowling says about trans women is like verbatim this manifesto. In the manifesto, there are explicit instructions to intentionally brainwash yourself, to watch like sissy hypnocorn, to like specifically watch as many of these sissy videos and these like cock worship videos. I probably can't say cock. These like
Sock worship.
they're explicitly told, watch these every day, refuse to goon to anything else, only watch these like hypno, you're trans now, you only want to have sex with men, you love this, because it's going to get you over the hump to actually starting the hormones. And once you start them, then you won't need that shit anymore. They have to like trick themselves, literally watch misogynistic, horrifying bullshit just to get to the place where they're willing to do this. The 73-page guide also said, like, here is the script on what you say to a psychiatrist to get a diagnosis of gender dysphoria. A lot of these guys, after transitioning, come to a point where they're like, oh shit, people are actually like way meaner to me. Like,
Yeah. Even if you were able to pass as a cis girl, like you wouldn't have had a good time. You would have been harassed. And then it's 10 times worse when you're being perceived as a trans woman. So like, have fun with that. When did this manifesto come out? Like, how long has this been a thing?
I don't know when the manifesto was published. Long enough.
I guess there's a side of this too where like some of the incels that aren't transitioning, they're convincing people to do it. So that way that like those people can be like a girlfriend to one of them.
That too, yeah, absolutely.
Which is so predatory. You're convincing a 12-year-old kid that has never considered being trans before, and you're trying to convince them to transmax.
yeah.
So you can, like, you and all of your other creepy incel guys can have, like, women.
It's disgusting.
So you know how, like, when people quote stats on detransitioners, they leave out the part that a lot of them do it because they're not being socially accepted, and then there are some outliers that did make the wrong choice. And it's a very low percentage. It's like a fraction of a percent of like
I would put all the money that I have on the fact that the only detransitioners are people who didn't want to be accepted and transmaxers. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't think any actual trans person detransitions for any reason other than societal unacceptance. It is exclusively men doing this because they have written into the manifesto that trans men should not exist because they firmly believe a trans man is taking a woman and making her less attractive and potentially taking away her ability to procreate. And their whole thing is procreation.
Yeah,
they
which is
are
like, what?
They are a breeder cult. Their whole ideology is about impregnation. They talk about breeding and impregnation and birth rates so much.
It's all childish too. Like, it's insane to me that there are
incredibly
grown men in
immature.
this.
Yes.
There are grown men that follow this
Yeah.
shit.
It's what
And it's
happens
just
when
like-
you just feed a ton of knowledge and facts into a child brain and no amount of questioning or discernment. Patriarchy and capitalism brainwashes all of us from birth to think that the only true way to succeed is to have a family.
Yeah.
Is to get married, have kids, have a family. All of the media, all of the content is about people and families. It's always like that's the only end goal that they can see.
Yeah.
Because there are not that many examples, except maybe in the queer community, of people who are doing something else.
Yeah.
So they can't envision a world for them because, look, not everyone should have a family.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
We don't need
yeah.
everyone to have a family.
We're
So these are
overpopulated.
probably people who don't even necessarily want a family, who are like feeling depressed because they're like, I'm never going to have one, which means I'm never going to amount to anything.
Yeah.
Because they just have never seen like anybody without a family succeed. One of the things they talk about is like, so one person made this whole post about how like, well, men are unnecessary. Like, we don't need men anymore.
I mean,
Women could absolutely, if they wanted to, with all the sperm reserves that exist in the world, they could procreate and keep the world going as long as they wanted to for an indefinite amount of time and never sleep with another man.
it's so funny because remember, I've said this before
I know
a
you
million
have.
times.
I know you have.
Yes, that's true. But also, like, if you would like to be a part of society and
nice.
progress with us, be nice.
Be
and
nice. Be a nice
useful.
person. Be somebody who people want to be around, and people will be around you. Nobody wants to be around you if you're believing this incel bullshit.
Lady and the Trans Podcast. Where we believe in science. We don't believe in God. Only science.